Yo, what is going on, guys? And welcome back to 365 Analytics. And today we are going to be doing a little bit of a fun one, a little bit of a preparation to call it for the 2025 NFL fantasy football season, which is quickly approaching us as football ramps up here. Fantasy drafts are most around the world happening next weekend, the weekend in between of the preseason and the regular season starting. So that's what my fantasy drafts are. Playing two leagues this year. I'm playing two different leagues, one on ESPN, one on Sleeper. And today we are going to be doing a mock draft on Sleeper. I'm going to be doing it from the fifth pick, smack dab in the middle of the draft, and trying to pick the best team possible and kind of giving myself one mock draft preparation for my fantasy football draft next weekend. So before we do get into it, if you guys do enjoy, please subscribe to the channel. That would all be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's get right into the mock draft. So we are going to start. This is how it's going to go on Sleeper. Here you go. Gibbs, Robinson, Chase, Barkley, and I am on the clock. In most leagues, Jamar Chase is the consensus number one overall pick, but this is obviously I'm drafting with AI, and he ends up going number three here. Gibbs number one, Robinson number two, Barkley number four. Okay, I am in a weird spot here. There's a lot of different guys I could take. Take Justin Jefferson, questionable for week one, but he's gonna be ready. He's back at practice. He's pretty much ready to go. CeeDee Lamb of the Dallas Cowboys, Puka Nakua, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think I'm gonna take a receiver here. Could take Ashton Genty of the Raiders. It's a lot of good options here, but I think I am. If I'm in this scenario, I'm gonna go with the best player available according to Sleeper, and I'm gonna take Justin Jefferson at the fifth overall pick to earn a spot on the little bit of a mock team here. It's not real, but we can have some fun at least. We are back on the clock. I think this is about the spot where I'd want to take a running back. Christian McCaffrey is back healthy with the San Francisco 49ers this season. He is ready to go. As you can see here, Christian McCaffrey should be heavily involved in the passing game early on. Devon Achane, another one. He has been dealing with some injuries lately. I don't know if he'll be ready for week one. Didn't practice Wednesday. Was like the practice week, so wouldn't expect the running back. Blah blah blah. Noted that he plans for Miami's lead back to be available for the team September 7th opener versus the Indianapolis Colts. So he's expected to be ready for the opener, but who knows? Things linger. Everybody saw Christian McCaffrey last year. Everybody thought he was going to be ready, and then he wasn't. Um, but I do think I'm going to take the best player available again. I'm going to take Christian McCaffrey. He's back healthy with the 49ers, and I think he is absolutely the pick here with uncertainty with Devon Achane's health. But my next option would definitely be Devon Achane. So, yeah, I'm going to take McCaffrey there. And then we get to my third pick in the snake draft, best available according to Sleeper, Ladd McConkey. He would be a good pick here. Got guys like Jackson Smith and Jigba, Kyron Williams, who's a touchdown machine last year, scored a ton of touchdowns. Chase Brown of my Bengals expected to be heavily involved in the offense. I could go running back again. JT, Kyron, Chase Brown, Brees Hall. I'm not a big fan of Brees Hall this year. Braylon Allen, I think, will be more involved in that backfield now. James Cook, fresh off a new extension. Omarion Hampton, the rookie. Check out receiver McConkey, JSN, Tyreek, T. Higgins. This might be a little biased to mock drafts, but I'm really a fan of Chase Brown this year. He's expected to be heavily involved in the offense, his biggest year ahead yet. Take some pressure off Joe Burrow in the passing game. So Kyron Williams really is a touchdown machine. He's gonna score a lot of touchdowns. He is. Blake Corum's in that backfield as well, though. I'm gonna opt with Chase Brown here. It's a mock draft, so it's not real, so we get to have some fun here. But I'm gonna go Chase Brown at my 3.5. Okay, we are back on the clock. Let's see. Two running back spots filled. Our starting running backs are filled with our wide receiver one being filled. Quarterbacks going off the board, I believe. Josh Allen's gone. Lamar Jackson's gone. Jaden Daniels gone. The top of the top fantasy quarterbacks all gone. James Cook is still on the board. George Kittle's still on the board. Probably one of the better tight ends in fantasy there. if I'm drafting my real team, I might just take Joe Burrow here. But we have Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, who obviously heavily involved with touchdowns at the 1 yard line with the tush push. There's good options here. I could take George Kittle. I could take Omarion Hampton. Omarion Hampton will be in that backfield with Najee Harris. I don't know if Najee Harris will be back for week one with the eye injury on 4th of July. I think I'm going to go quarterback here. Marvin Harrison, I expect to have a big year, but I'm not going to bank on that in a mock draft like this. I'm going to go with Joe Burrow. I know, call me biased, but it's a mock draft in the end. Let's have some fun. Take my first quarterback on the board there with Joe Burrow, and we are back on the clock. It's receiver or tight end here. Kittle will be a really good option. What did he finish as last year? Number one tight end. Is that mocked or 2024? I think he was tight end two, probably behind Bowers, or maybe tight end three behind Bowers and McBride. But you could argue he's a top three tight end in fantasy football behind Bowers and McBride. So I think that would be a good option to take. The receivers get a little thin come this time. DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Zay, Mixon. I don't know if he's gonna be ready for week one. Could begin season on PUP. Been dealing with some injuries. I don't know if he'll be ready. I think I'm gonna take Kittle here. I'm gonna fill that tight end position. I mean, it's risky to pass on a receiver here and make the team a little bit weaker, but we're gonna take Kittle. We're gonna move with him. So Mixon goes at the 5'8". He probably would have been my next pick. Or I mean, a receiver. I need a receiver here. Receiver position definitely has to be filled here, no doubt about it. It's really preference here. George Pickens, how involved will he be in the Cowboys offense as wide receiver two? Travis Hunter, again, he's a wild card as well. He could turn out very good, but how much receiver does he play? Is he a DB primary? Who knows? Jacksonville expects him to play both positions. Who knows how much though? Chris Olave's back healthy. I mean, Xavier Worthy might be the guy here to me. DJ Moore's good, but I think Rome Odunze will take a second year step. I think Rome Odunze will have a much bigger role in the offense this year. I'm going to take Xavier Worthy. I think he would be the best pick here. I think he is Mahomes' guy. I think he's ready for the year two leap, and he is the primary guy in that Kansas City offense. If this is a super flex league, if you could carry two QBs, like in Sleeper, I don't know if other things do it, but in Sleeper, you can do carry two quarterbacks. You can do super flex. If that is that league, it's not in this scenario, but I'd take Patrick Mahomes here to be my second quarterback in that case, but it is not a super flex league. So it's obviously wide receiver or running back here. Who's the best available? Who do I like the most? Pacheco? I don't know about Pacheco. I mean, Kareem Hunt played well last year, so I don't know how much they're going to go back to him. Aaron Jones could be intriguing. Jerry Jeudy was top five in the league in receiving yards last year, but there is uncertainty at the quarterback position. Joe Flacco will start the season. Jordan Addison will start the season suspended as well. Kelsey's there, but he'd be a backup tight end in this scenario. I don't trust Judkins' legal situation. He's still not signed by the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to pass on him. I'm going to take Aaron Jones. I still think he can produce in that Vikings offense. Jordan Mason is there with him now, so we'll see how that ends up looking like, but I'm going to take Aaron Jones there. Okay. Now we are back on the clock. Calvin Ridley is intriguing. Dealing with soreness, he'll absolutely be ready for week one. He is far and away the number one wide receiver in Tennessee with Cam Ward. I think he might be the guy I like here. Romo Dunze, I just said I like him this year a lot. I think he'll be heavily, heavily more involved in Chicago with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. But I'm going to take Calvin Ridley. I think he's Cam Ward's guy, far and away, no doubt about it. I'm going to take him in that position. Okay, private chat. So we have our starting lineup besides kicker and defense, obviously solidified. Now you get down here. I'm going to keep with the running back and wide receiver trend. Brandon Ayuk, not expected to be back in week 6. I did read that earlier. 49ers wide receiver room is very thin, so when he comes back, he'll be probably a very, very focal point in that offense. Tyrone Tracy, he's sharing a backfield now with Cam Scattaboo. Travis Etienne, Javonte Williams, I guess it's Miles Sanders with him, I think. in the Dallas backfield. Jaden Blue from Texas as well is still there. Forgot about him. So he could be a little bit of a sleeper in fantasy football. This one's a little tough, not gonna lie. Debo Samuel could be a steal at this point if Terry McLaurin does not step on the field, but I fully expect Terry McLaurin to be paid. Mm, Stephon Diggs is your number one wide receiver in New England. Could he be the pick here? Cooper Kupp's your number two in Seattle. Uh, I think I'm gonna go with the guy who I think is gonna get the most action in his offense, and that would be Stephon Diggs with the New England Patriots. Drake May going into year two, taking a leap. We'll see how that all ends up. I'm gonna take Diggs there. As we move on to our 10th round pick. It is probably all eyes on running back here. Javonte Williams is still there, and he probably will be my guy. Charbonnet is a little intriguing too, because I think him and Kenneth Walker are pretty much 50-50 in that backfield. Javonte Williams has showed flashes of being a running back one with the Denver Broncos before, obviously now a Dallas Cowboy. I'm going to take a chance on him there. I'm going to go with Javonte Williams in round 10. So that adds up to four running backs, four wide receivers. Yes. How many bench spots we have left? We need to save one for a quarterback, one for a backup tight end, and then two more rounds for kicker and defense. So where do we opt? It's running back or wide receiver. This is our last real pick here. Tyler Warren could be a really good backup tight end. A lot of quality tight ends. Colston Loveland, another one still on the board. Um, I'm gonna pass on tight end there though. Emeka Ibuka. He's gonna be starting the season as wide receiver two, most likely in Tampa Bay, right behind Mike Evans. Chris Godwin. I do not know if he'll be ready. I don't know if he'll be ready. Uncertain for week one, Sleeper says. Jalen McMillan also just suffered a neck injury, so he won't be ready for week one either. He'll probably be out till mid-season. So that could be a really good pick. Jaden Higgins, another guy the Texans really like. I'm gonna go with Emeka Ibuka. That's gonna be my pick there. I like that pick a lot. I mean, he's wide receiver two in Tampa Bay to start the year. We're gonna move with him. Okay, so here's quarterback two or tight end two. These are the quarterbacks still on the board. Still a lot of guys that are starting. I'm going to pass on quarterback for now and go to tight end. Colston Loveland with one pick before me. That probably would have been my pick right there. Colston Loveland. Tucker Kraft's intriguing option. Had some good games last season. Let's see. Did he have any double-digit games last season? 163.3 fantasy points last season overall. What was he, tight end seven last year? Is that last year's ranking? I think it is. Kincaid, I'm still waiting for Dalton Kincaid to really break out in Buffalo. I'm not been a fan. I am not picking Kyle Pitts at any scenario. Miss me with Kyle Pitts. I'm just gonna move with Tucker Kraft, I guess there. 3 rounds to go. Backup quarterback is the pick here. It's really preference. Who do I like? Cam Ward to Stafford still there. Geno Smith, Aaron Rodgers. I guess I'm just gonna go with the best available. Jordan Love did have a finger injury. He's gonna be ready to go though. I'll go Jordan Love. Pair him up with Tucker Kraft, I guess. We'll go with him as our backup quarterback behind Burrow and kicker and defense to finish it off. Oh, Sleeper likes defense before kicker, huh? Interesting. I always go my kicker before my defense, but I'm gonna snag Brandon Aubrey here. If I'm in a real draft and defense is in this 14th round, Brandon Aubrey would be my pick. So that's gonna be my guy. We're going to go with Brandon Aubrey, and then obviously to finish off the draft, our defense. Cincinnati Bengals. I'm kidding. I always like picking the Bengals defense in fantasy, but I just can't this year, man. I can't do it. Everybody watched a Monday Night Football preseason game the other night. I'm a little bit nervous, not gonna lie. We'll talk more about the Bengals in the next video. We'll have a Bengals 53-man roster projection on Monday, along with some other stuff in that video as well. So stay tuned for that. That'll be our next video on this Monday. But defense, it doesn't really matter. I guess I'll just go with the New York Giants defense could be intriguing with the amount of sacks they could get. That defensive front is very, very good. Of course, defensive front. They, they obviously got Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence. So with the amount of turnovers and sacks they could create, I'm going to take the New York Giants, and that is going to round out the draft. So yeah, that's the roster. Quarterback Joe Burrow, running backs Christian McCaffrey and Chase Brown, wide receivers Justin Jefferson, Xavier Worthy, tight end George Kittle, the flex positions Aaron Jones, Calvin Ridley, Brandon Aubrey at kicker, New York Giants defense, and the bench looking like Stephon Diggs, Javonte Williams, Mecca, Brooke Tucker Craft, and Jordan Love. So yeah, that's a little bit of a fantasy mock draft. Now on, we're gonna be doing one of these every single August before the fantasy draft season starts. We did one of these last season, had fun doing it on the channel last year, and this one's gonna go up later tonight as well. If you guys did enjoy the video, please like, subscribe. That'll be greatly appreciated. We will have our next video next Monday. As I said, it'll be a Bengals final 53-man roster projection before cutdowns start on Tuesday. And yeah, enjoy the final weekend of NFL preseason. We're gonna have fantasy draft next weekend. We're next week, or I should say, starting next week. We'll talk about it more. We're gonna have two weekly videos during the NFL season coming up. One on Monday, I believe, and one on Tuesday probably, and then our picks video on Thursday. I'm gonna talk about that more next video. But yeah, prediction week is starting very soon. We're gonna have tons of content through the NFL season. I hope you guys do enjoy. So yeah, that's gonna do it for today's video. See y'all next time.